I have come from a Catholic background, grew up consistently going to church every week, but just never really understood God, never really created that relationship with Him. Didn't ever pick up a Bible before I, became a young adult, I guess, years ago. And really, I was going through a lot of trials myself. New mom, I was older, so that was a little challenging. My business was a little hard, and I just lived in this fear-based place where I didn't see the abundance. I didn't connect with God. I didn't know how to have that relationship.
I wasn't raised with any kind of faith of any sort. Really no opinion or education or information either which way in a religion. So it was a pretty independent life and a pretty selfish life, I'd say. Then we had a son. And I couldn't be selfish anymore. And I knew this. So I needed to learn about something more. I needed to understand. So I was incredibly curious and eager and yearning to learn about this faith that I'd heard so much about. That's where I get a little bit excited to talk about Rooted, because when I went to that little room upstairs and we sat around the table with strangers, right? It came with the book, and just flipped through the book, and it was this handy resource where I knew the answers to all of these questions about the faith were going to be addressed. So the curious in me, the learner in me, the person that's always wanting to understand how things work, all this was right up my alley. And then there was the 1 hour of prayer. I don't know that I'd ever genuinely prayed deeply in my life other than asking for things. And so I thought going into that prayer, this would be an hour of repenting and reflecting on all of my sins and bad choices and listening to the Lord's, forgiveness or not for that, thinking it was, going to be a time of judgment. But of course it wasn't. And I'd say about half of that time, the latter half of that prayer time, the only thing that the Holy Spirit put into my mind again and again and again was seek to know me. And the only thing that I felt like I had really done poorly in my life was to not pursue to know God more. And so it really transformed me in that session and through the whole series, because it created in me that deep, deep desire that only God can put in me, that desire to know Him, to seek Him, and to understand Him.
So through understanding more about the strongholds, fear was one of them I mentioned earlier, and maybe it didn't all change during Rooted, but it's been a few years now, and it's just amazing how much I have jumped into a faith base versus a fear base. Rooted really helped kind of build that foundation, give me, answer some questions like Ben and I were kind of curious about, and that kind of helped us lead to a little bit more knowing to go to God for questions, knowing when to listen to, what is that voice saying, and trusting that that is the Holy Spirit and that is guiding us to make a better decision and going into unknown things in my life, not fearing it, but more God's got me. It's okay, so. I would encourage anyone that is looking to maybe just one, get to know more about our faith, two, maybe just learn how to have a better relationship with God, three, maybe build that community. I know many people in our different Rooted groups that have really changed their lives for the better, their marriages, health, all kinds of things that because of Rooted. Like, it all started there.
Rooted gives you the gift of vulnerability. It gives you a space that's safe, that's structured. I believe pretty deep that vulnerability is the core to healthy, strong, lasting relationships, whether that's with other people or with the Lord. I guess I say this because as a man raised by the culture, inspired by media, you don't show vulnerability. So I never knew how to do it. And that limited me so much. So Rooted gave me a chance to safely share my truth, see that it didn't kill me. And in fact, it opened up my world and gave me an opportunity to build better relationships. Making vulnerability familiar and safe was incredibly transformational for me. And it took massive weight off of my shoulders to know that I could be afraid, ignorant, curious, lost, confused. So I would encourage specifically the men to use this as an opportunity to grow and mature and become more of a man than you've probably ever been. Because it's through that vulnerability that you get the strength to move mountains.